be excited when Star Wars was announced. New games, new merch, new movies. Well, not really so much the movies. I kind of fell off after Rogue One. I was like, this is kind of shit. The girl I was seeing at the time was like, oh, let's go watch a new Star Wars movie. And I was like, okay, maybe it'll be good. So I was originally excited, Knights of the Old Republic remake, because I was reading it's going to be essentially a remaster, and all the stuff they cut out to get the game out in time was going to be put back in. I was like, yes, love it. And then wokeness happened. And they had to inject women who can't remake anything, who don't understand anything, who are incapable of learning anything, and wanted to do self-inserts and just shit on men because they're sad, depressed cat ladies eating cans of fucking cat food because that's all they have in their life. So I'm actually glad to see the death of this game finally being announced. Before I get into the video, guys, make sure you smash that like button, make sure you subscribe, make sure you share this one out. Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic remake reportedly not being worked on right now. Good. A new report claims that previously announced Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic remake is no longer being worked on at any studio. This new report comes from Jeff Grubb at Giant Bomb, who stated on a recent live stream, the game is not being worked on right now. Just full stop. This game is not being worked on in any way at any studio. I'll get into how that happened because it's a little bit of a depressing story because it's really the beginning of the end. The game was originally announced by Lucas Games, PlayStation, and Aspyr back in 2021 during a PlayStation showcase. Technically, yes. But there were rumors of it being put together. There were people doing all sorts of crazy stuff. This goes back way further than that. I mean, I guess it's bounced around from studio companies. And anywho, doesn't matter at this point. At the time, Aspyr lead producer Ryan Treadwell revealed that the game would be a complete remake. Treadwell asked, is this like a remaster of the original game? What's going on here? He responded, it's so much more. This is a complete remake of the beloved Star Wars story. For Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic remake, we are building from the ground up while maintaining that integrity and story from the original. That's what had me hype about it. Schumann then asked, so Ryan, how much of a remake are we talking about here? Is this updating some graphics, adding in some resolution modes? He goes on to say, you know the original Star Wars, KOTOR is a true classic and one of our favorite Star Wars stories ever. We want to honor that original story and make it as impactful for players today. In terms of the visuals, we have the opportunity to present the story with a much higher level of fidelity than was possible in the past while making sure that we are being authentic to what players loved about that original game. Yes, and it was fantastic. And if you didn't play it, I'm sure you can get this for like $5 or $10 on Steam, maybe even both of them for that price. Well worth it. The only problem with it is that it's a really old game. I remember playing it on the original Xbox. Resolution isn't that great. It's got some gameplay issues with Windows 10, which I assume doesn't work at all in Windows 11 because Windows 11 is shit, let's be honest. It's about 50-50 light side and dark side. I've never played the middle. All right, so going on, he said during the company's Q4 report, Aspyr has gone full in to make this the best game that they could make. When we acquired Aspyr, we knew that from the start that they would require our assistance, and Saber has tremendous expertise in creating these types of products. We're fully confident that the game is going to be fantastic, but it's a massive, massive product, and massive products require a lot of effort and a lot of time to make good. Yes, they require effort, but they require effort from people who care. And especially when you're talking about a game already old, very old, we've basically had to remake the game from scratch, which, good, an engine update or its own engine would be fantastic. By July 2022, the rumor was that the game had been indefinitely paused. Jason Schreier at Bloomberg reported that following a demo from executives at the end of June, Aspyr's design director Brad Prince and art director Jason Miner were fired. Because without going into too many of the back details, any of these companies, when they buy out other studios, they buy the projects, they do what they can to get the project out as fast as they can, and then they lay everybody off who worked at it and just reap the rewards of someone else's work. And it's always the commie studios. It's always the commie shit studios. It's fucking EA. It's Sega. It's all of them. But I mean, that's why my Steam library is like 95% indie stuff. I don't care for these AAA companies at all. I actively avoid them. One per one person familiar with the discussion suggested that one person familiar with the discussions suggested that a disproportionate amount of time and money had gone into the demo and that the project's current course wasn't sustainable. By August 2022, another rumor from Schreiber at Bloomberg suggested that the game's entire production had shifted from Aspyr to Saber. Yeah, so what they did is they bought out the company so they could make the game, fired everybody who was working on it, and tried to do it themselves. Took over a half-finished project with nobody who knew how to do anything. This rumor came after Embracer announced in a financial report that one of the group's AAA projects has transitioned to another studio within the group. Yep, that's kind of what I just said. This wasn't done to ensure the quality bar is where we need it to be for the title. What that really means is we have a AAA project, we're trying to be a AAA studio, so we need to get those ESG bucks, we need to put diversity in it and destroy everything they made and try and redo it from the ground up. So the article goes on. Sony's spokesperson from Kotaku said that the reason was a license expiration. So it goes on. At the end of September, all the promotional trailers announcing the game were privated on YouTube. A Sony spokesman informed Kotaku that the reason was a license expiration. As part of a normal business, we delist assets with licensed music when the license expires. So it doesn't look good for the game. Back in September. It didn't look good before, but I'll get into that in just a second here. Most people weren't buying what the spokesman was selling, with YouTuber Ryan Kinnell state. Oh, Ryan, awesome! Shout out to Ryan. I'm actually on his shows at the last Sunday of every month. You should check those out. Ryan's an awesome dude. After 2 years, it looked like whatever iteration this was in is completely and totally dead. So bad that they deleted any mention of their social media, that they are busy making the videos private on YouTube. At least it would have made money if they left it up for the views, the ad revenue. Here we go. Twitter user Data Racer also stated this was exactly 2 years ago. That's a corporate decision. KOTOR Remake is done. Yeah. And he goes on to go on a little rant about Sam Maggs. And if you're not familiar with Sam Maggs, this is one of the women that interjected herself into Star Wars because she's an utterly disgusting, unlikable twat waffle. And we've got some of her tweets here. Let me pull some of those up so you guys can see them. All right, games, books, and comics. Next, Knights of the Old Republic remake, Call of Duty Vanguard, Critical Role Origins, Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. And she wants to put in that she's fucking bi. Which probably means bipolar because she didn't finish it. She goes on to say, after all these years, I finally get to make a BioWare game. Isn't KOTOR your favorite? No. She doesn't like the game. Let's keep going. If you want to hate Rey, at least be honest about it. You hate that she's a Mary Sue because she's a woman. It's cool. Just be real about it. Sam Maggs, whenever you want to prove how strong you are of a woman, let's meet in a boxing ring sometime. Let's see how strong your womanhood is. Let's get that sorted out. The Last Jedi. Men screw literally everything up every time. Yeah, that's why the viewership fell off for all those movies. But no, it's nothing but a bunch of mentally unstable rants about how much she hates men and wants to destroy anything a man likes. And it goes on and on and on and on. But in case you didn't know where she came from, let's jump over to this old video.
Online, they can take your character, lock them in place, have made their character pantsless, and then can simulate sexual assault with your character, and you are helpless to stop it.
The graphics are so good, this attack is eerily realistic, but this is virtual rape. Hackers rewriting codes and hijack Grand Theft Auto. The vile scenes are then posted to YouTube.
So doing GTA things is problematic for her, and she hates men because of it. You know what? I bet she didn't even show up for the Marvels. But that's it. That's pretty much when I knew Knights of the Old Republic remake was dead. When women were put into it because diversity. You know, anytime I see anything at this point that has diversity and just says, "Oh, we have women." Well, what's it about? Well, we have women working it. Okay, I want no part of it. Because what that says to me is you don't give a shit about what you're making. You just want the ESG bucks because you can put diversity on something. And, you know, it goes back to my older videos when I said Barbie would actually be successful, as much as I don't want it to be, because they happened to stumble across a movie plot that was for women, made by women, and it wasn't made for dudes. The same way when they made Oppenheimer, I said it was going to be a success because it's a movie about dudes, for dudes, and has nothing to do with women. Then I'm sure the nude scenes helped a lot. Let's be honest about that one. But anyway, yeah, no, I'm glad this is dead. I'm glad it's officially in the coffin. I'm glad it's getting buried. I'm glad she has an L on her fucking resume again. Some dumb broad from... But this is what happens when you hire some dumb broad from GameStop that complains about GTA. You can tell this bitch has never played a game in her life. But it's okay. She can sit in her basement. But it's okay. She can sit in her parents' basement because she's broke, eating wet cat food with her 8 cats around her, and just fade into obscurity. I'm proud of that. I'm glad. I really am. But guys, I want to hear your thoughts in the comment section. While you're there again, make sure you smash that like button. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you share this one out. But until the next one, be easy like sleazy.